camp? What makes it one
It's going well. We've worked on it a lot, and I'm super comfortable playing alongside him.
What are the what's been really good about it? What do you still need to be kind of better at?
We need to just do a great job of rebounding and communicating. I think those are our biggest things. But what I like about it is it just allows us, especially with him playing before. I'm assuming that's what you mean. It allows us to play a little bit faster. It allows a lot more spacing, especially for pick and rolls with Braden and I. And so yeah.
How did you develop that short roll shot, that little one-hander? I don't know if that's a shot every kid grows up practicing.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like my hook. I just I started shooting it and I was good at it. We used to do you call it horseshoe shooting. You shoot layups, and then we shot these little touch shots, and I think maybe that helped a little bit. But I don't know. I've always just had really good touch, around the rim, and so I think I just I saw how good Braden was in the pick and roll, and that was a shot that I figured would be really helpful.
It puts you in a position where you're kind of facing the basket, but also facing the wings. Does that put you in a favorable passing position too when you take the ball inside the foul line like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Typically when I'm in the short roll position, Braden's probably beat my guy, and then it's at that point I'm just making a read. It's a lot easier just because of the angle than post-up passing, I would say, for whatever reason. But yeah,
it's probably getting a little granular here, but the gravity that creates away from the rim, how much can that help offensive rebounding when you're pulling people away from the basket when they're drawn to you on that roll?
I always think the more shooters a team has, like for example, even Marquette, I don't know, I think we won that rebounding battle, but when you're playing people who space everybody out, I think it is a lot easier for that team to get offensive rebounds. For whatever reason, you have to run farther to box out. And so I think that's the biggest thing. I don't know if gravity is necessarily the right term. I mean, that could definitely play some role in it, but I think it's just the fact that you have more shooters out there, and it takes you have to run to your guy to box out instead of everybody being in the paint.
Just having to take shorter steps. I know this is getting a little bit weird, but just having to take shorter steps in your role, is that a natural athletic movement?
Shorter steps. What do you mean by that?
I assume since you're covering less ground, you take shorter steps. You're not taking big strides to the basket the way Zach would when he was going.
Oh yeah.
All the way to the brim.
No, it's actually interesting for me. That's my natural. For whatever reason, that's much easier than trying to take those long strides to go to the rim. So it's actually more natural for me to short roll than the normal roll.
I think Marquette was, they threw a lot of different stuff at you. They had somebody behind you, for the most part. How are you kind of dealing with that, go-to guy sort of responsibility that comes with, being the guy that the people are planning scouting reports for? Not the only guy, but a guy.
Yeah, me, it's just about trying to be super, versatile. The first half, they were doing a great job of taking away post-ups, and so I just decided to get in more pick-and-roll action. Just take whatever the defense gives you. If they double team me, then you kick it out to shooters. So I think when you have that, you don't have one thing you have to go to in order to be effective. It's going to help the team.
At what point in the operation of getting the ball, starting to eyeball the people around you to see what they're going to do?
Before I have the ball, I try to if I'm posting up, I'm automatically looking around. I'm thinking about what we read that the other team's defensive coverage is, post defense wise. Obviously, if they're doubling baseline, I'm not going to spin baseline. If they're doubling immediately or if they double on the first bounce. So I think about all those things, before I catch the ball. And then I check, the shooters, just if, a lot of times people just happen to be off their guy for whatever reason. They just gravitate towards the basket. So I'm hoping, especially with somebody like Cam, you have, the bigger fours. If we're about to play a team with bigger fours, I'm hoping that, it's the same thing. They're not used to guarding somebody who's more of a shooter. Because typically big guys gravitate towards the basket. But yeah, no, all those things I'm checking before I even get the ball.